April 1944. 28,000 feet above the blue expanse of the Pacific. The sun glares off the canopy of a Mitsubishi A6M0 as its pilot, a battle-hardened Japanese ace, banks lazily through the formation. You can almost hear the laughter crackling over the radio. "Look at them," the pilot sneers to his wingman. "The Americans bring toys now. That fat-nosed fighter, it flies like a pregnant cow. Slow, clumsy, no match for our Zero." His name was Lieutenant Junior Grade Tetsuzo Iwamoto, one of Japan's rising stars with over 100 claimed victories. Around him, veteran pilots of the Imperial Japanese Navy Air Service nodded in agreement. They had ruled these skies for 3 brutal years: Pearl Harbor, the Philippines, the Coral Sea. Their Mitsubishi Zeros had shredded everything the Allies threw at them: Wildcats, Warhawks, even the early Lightnings. Why should this new American machine be any different? The P-51 Mustang appeared awkward at first glance. Its long, lean body and distinctive bubble canopy looked almost delicate against the rugged, agile Zero. American pilots were still learning its quirks, and from a distance, the Japanese laughed. They mocked its size. They mocked its pilots. They mocked the very idea that this aircraft could challenge the divine wind of the rising sun. But something was different this time.
The Japanese pilots had every reason to feel confident. For years, the Mitsubishi Zero had been the terror of the Pacific. Light, nimble, able to turn inside any opponent. Its pilots were some of the finest in the world, many with hundreds of combat hours forged in the fires of China and Pearl Harbor. They believed no machine could match their skill and their aircraft's agility. They were wrong. What they hadn't counted on was the marriage of American airframe design and British engineering genius. Deep in the nose of the P-51 Mustang sat the Rolls-Royce Merlin engine, a 1,700 horsepower V12 monster that transformed the aircraft from a promising fighter into a high-altitude killer. American factories had taken the British design, refined it, and mass-produced it with ruthless efficiency. You could almost feel the difference in the cockpit. At 30,000 feet, where the air is thin and freezing, the Zero's engine began to gasp and lose power. But the Mustang's Merlin, fitted with a 2-stage supercharger, kept delivering full thrust. While Japanese pilots struggled to maintain altitude and speed, the Mustang pilots simply pushed their throttles forward and climbed higher, faster, like eagles rising above their prey. Captain Don Gentile wasn't alone that day. Alongside him flew men like Colonel John C. Meyer and Major James Howard, battle-hardened pilots who had learned their deadly trade the hard way over Europe and Pearl Harbor. They understood something the Japanese hadn't yet grasped. Dogfighting at low altitude was suicide against the Zero. But at high altitude, with superior speed and
The summer of 1944 burned hotter than the Pacific sun itself. Japanese air commanders, still clinging to the glory of their early victories, ordered their remaining elite pilots into the sky for one final decisive blow. Among them flew legends, men whose names struck fear into Allied hearts for years. But now, something had changed. High above the Philippine Sea, Major Richard Dick Bong, America's deadliest fighter pilot with 40 confirmed kills, climbed into the cockpit of his new P-51D Mustang. The aircraft had been specially modified for him, its sleek lines gleaming under the tropical sun. Bong, a quiet farm boy from Wisconsin, had earned his reputation in the twin-engine P-38 Lightning. But even he felt the raw power of the Mustang as he pushed the throttle forward and roared into the endless blue. The Japanese sent their best. Commander Minoru Genda, the brilliant mind behind Pearl Harbor, coordinated desperate waves of Zeros and newer fighters like the Shiden and Raiden. Their pilots included aces with 50, 80, even over 100 victories. They came in low and aggressive,
hoping to lure the Americans into a swirling dogfight where the Zero's agility would once again rule. They never got the chance. The Mustangs, flying in disciplined flights of 4, used their superior altitude and speed to strike like ghosts. They didn't turn. They didn't chase. They dove, fired, and zoomed away, leaving trails of smoke and fire in their wake. You can almost hear the radio chatter cracking with panic